Precorrection, an interview with Professor Sarah Jane Schonour. How did you learn about precorrection?
That's a great question. I think often we learn about it and we don't really know what it's called. So, my professors in my graduate program said if you can predict it, you can prevent it in the classroom. So, that's what they taught us, to think ahead about what could go wrong and then work back from there.
How would you use precorrection in the school setting?
So, in the school setting, it's really important to think about changes in the schedule or changes throughout the day. I found that pre-correction in the classroom can really help you when you have an assembly, for example, or if you have a field trip, because you don't do that every day. And so the students might need some preparation. We're going into the gym. Normally you would run, but today for the assembly, what are we going to do instead? And have an opportunity to practice that and prepare for it so that you can remind them, okay, we're going in the gym for a different reason, and let them know they're going to go in quietly, they're going to sit crisscross, and they're going to listen to the presentation.
How would you use precorrection outside of school?
When I think back to my son being young, and as many toddlers do, he really enjoyed bath time. And so he just wanted to stay and stay and stay in the bath. So we ended up working on pre-correction, where we set up a thing at the end of the bath where he can blast off out of the bathtub and get dried off. So blast off, dry off. And so we practiced that because otherwise, he would have turned into a raisin staying in the bath way too long. And so we had a system worked out where I could remind him, remember, we're going to play with our toys, we're going to wash our hair, we're going to do this and that, and then we're going to blast off. Remember how to do that? And so it's a nice reminder in a fun way that there were expectations that the bath would end at some point.
What are some of the benefits of precorrection for students and teachers?
I think some of the benefits of pre-corrections for students and teachers, for the students, I honestly believe they want to do the right thing. They want to please their teachers and they want to please their parents. So we're letting them know, here's exactly what you can do, and we're going to practice it. I'm going to remind you. And then when you do it, you're going to get a big dose of praise and feel really proud of yourself afterwards. So I think it's great for their self-esteem, and they're able to really focus on what they should be doing instead of what they should not be doing. And then that builds more of a positive relationship with their teacher, because they're able to be successful, and then they're able to hear from their teacher, wow, you did a really good job staying quiet and calm during that assembly. I'm so impressed. And everyone loves a good compliment.
What are some benefits for families when using precorrection?
I think the nice thing for parents with pre-correction is it helps you get ahead of the behavior that you want to avoid. So if you can remind your child, and certainly that's after you've practiced with them what you expect them to do, if you can remind them and have them do it, then that just feels better than the opposite, where this child is doing something that you are not enjoying, and then it could lead to yelling or a fight or getting upset. So you're really being proactive and avoiding the issue altogether, because they know what to do, how to do it, and you're able to let them know that they did a great job.
What behavior changes have you seen as a result of using precorrection?
For me as a teacher, it was really the times where we were leaving the safe cocoon of the classroom. So we had our routines, procedures, and expectations. But sometimes as a new teacher, I would feel nervous when we were going to the library or we're going out to the playground. Are they going to remember the rules and be able to follow through with the expectations that I have for them? So using pre-correction, I could say, okay, let's think about this ahead of time, think what could happen, and prepare the students. Then they were less anxious. I was more confident that we could go and enjoy these other areas of the school, and that we would have a good experience overall. And as a parent, I feel like For my son, it helped us enjoy outings that we would have to the playground, for example, because often children don't want to leave the playground at the end of the playtime. So we would actually rehearse at the very beginning, okay, let's pretend it's time to leave. And how do we get to the car and where do we go? And let's get our seatbelt on. And we'd say, oh, we're just pretending. Now it's time to play. Good thing you know how to leave, because then you'll be able to come back next time.
What are some things that you have found easy about implementing pre-correction?
The ease of pre-correction is that honestly, it just takes a little bit of time and thought, but it's something you can build into any activity in any environment. So it's not just something that you need special tools for or you need special materials. It's really the opportunity to practice it and to prepare for it, and then to recognize that it went well. So it's all in your head and in your interactions with the students or with your children at home. Pretty easy to do.
What are some challenges that might come with implementing pre-correction?
Well, I think sometimes if you don't have the environment set up for success, that even if you've done pre-correction, even if you've practiced and then you've reminded, and then you go into an environment where there's something unexpected. Let's say you go into the cafeteria and they've moved all the furniture around and you weren't expecting that. That any kind of surprises can throw off your pre-correction because you prepared for it, the tables to be lined up a certain way and your students to walk in a certain line. And now you have to, on the fly, make an adjustment in that environment. So if you don't know what the environment is going to be, pre-correction can be a little bit tricky. So you might have to do some research ahead of time.
Awesome. What advice do you have for parents on how to use this strategy at home?
I think I mentioned it before, but I think when parents are thinking about their children's behavior, often they feel like they have to be really, really strict. You know, these are the rules and we have to follow them. You can actually have fun with pre-correction. You can actually do a lot of pretending with your imagination. What if this happened? And what if that happened? And wouldn't that be silly? And so I think sometimes we get into our authoritarian mode where really we just need to be authoritative. Yes, I know what I expect of you, but we can do that in a way that we both enjoy and have fun, and it doesn't have to be something where someone gets in trouble. I can actually prepare you and you can follow through, and then we're having a good time together.